Well, this shop, I moved here 3 years ago, and I was 12 years one block away on Houston Street, and in the basement actually, but it had twice as much space as this store. And that I opened in 1991, and I moved out in '03. I moved here in '03, so I've been here maybe 3.5 years. And I've been doing records since around 1990. Almost 20 years, 17 years now. I couldn't say there's a specialty, but I fill in a lot of the gaps that other stores don't want to deal with. For instance, you have stores that'll specialize in punk for the younger crowd, or heavy metal, or the hip hop and rap type outlets, which are mainly CD. There's some vinyl in those places, but I kind of fill in all the other gaps that maybe things that don't sell as well, like easy listening, country. There's not a huge turnover in country records, and I fill in those gaps. We have maybe like 6,000 country albums here, easy listening 4,000, and I don't sell a lot of it, but I have it. When someone does want it, they're very thrilled to be able to find a good quantity in one place. Of course, you have the cover art, which you don't find in CDs. You have just a little piece of paper with a picture on it or whatever, or some artwork. And albums is just, it's cardstock. It's more like a little work of art. People like that. It's a little more substantial than the insert in a CD. Then the sound, some people like the sound better. Personally, I like CDs and vinyl, but some people swear the vinyl has a wider range of frequency. I guess on maybe a real high-end turntable, maybe the sound is better, you know. And just the feel of it. Once you get it, it's just like any hobby or anything you do. Once you get into it, you just enjoy it just for what it is. You develop a liking for it, and that's kind of the way it is with records. So, I get a lot of calls with people that just have junk. Their records were abused or overplayed or not stored correctly, but every now and then I get a call of someone who, you know, had their records indoors. They took good care of them, and in fact, I've bought collections where more than half of the records had never been opened. People would, professionals are real good about keeping their records clean because they don't have time to actually play the records. They'll have a vacation or time away, and they'll go on a shopping spree, and they'll buy maybe 50 albums. Then they go back into their grind of where they don't have time, and they're putting 12-hour work days, and their records get hardly any play, if any. And I've actually found collections where a lot of them were still sealed. They had never been opened. If an album is correctly stored, as far as I'm concerned, I've found albums from the late 40s and early 50s that were perfect and played perfect. So if an album was correctly stored, it could last 200-300 years. Then I don't know the decomposition. I'm not an engineer or a chemist, but it seems like eventually, after several hundred years, there might be some deterioration just from air. I don't have anything really incredibly rare like a Beetle Butcher stereo sealed or something that would be, you know, $10,000 or $20,000. But I have a few pieces. Like I have the Fenderman on Soma. That one books for $500 to $1,000. But see, there again, it doesn't matter what the book says. I'd be probably lucky to get $200 or $300 for that. I've had it for a year, and I haven't even had anyone interested in it. So sometimes the book can say something's real valuable, but if the market isn't there, you have to adjust your price according to that. And I have a few, you know, Beatles in the hundreds of dollars and things. I have maybe 200 or 300 albums that are in the $100 range. But most of my records are $8 to $12, you know, out of probably I have maybe 40 or 50,000 LPs, and the 45s. Sometimes 45s can be worth a lot more than albums. I have one 45 by the Five Keys on Aladdin, which is early doo-wop R&B, and that's like $600. That's my rarest 45. So, but I don't have tons of super rare stuff. I'm not like a super high-end specialized dealer or anything like that. I kind of have something for everybody, and every now and then I get lucky and get something valuable, you know, I'll stock it or put it someplace safe and look it up, find out what I'm going to price it for, and go from there. So. I wouldn't consider myself a historian. There are historians, and there's been many books written on music history and record collecting, even record conservation. But I would consider myself as someone with a medium range, deep understanding, just from my interaction with my customers and just dealing with records for 20 years. But I certainly wouldn't say I'm a historian or any expert in any one thing. I have a good, solid overview of music. And I used to play guitar, and I played in bands in my younger years, you know, when I was in my teens. And I learned a lot of those old songs at that time. And so I do have a little bit of, you know, an interaction or, you know, an understanding just from merely than just from selling and making a buck. I mean, you know, I do appreciate the music more than that, and I still play the guitar and sing a little bit. So some of these songs I actually know the lyrics and can play by memory. But there's millions of songs, I maybe know, you know, a couple of hundred. So I mean, but I do, you know, and I have reference books I can look up. Someone says, "There's this song that went like this," and a lot of times that may have been a song that I remembered or that I played at one time. So I can help them out. If not, I have some reference books, Joel Whitburn reference books that I can look them up. If they know the artist, or if they don't know the artist and they know the title, I can reference them alphabetically like that. So that comes in handy, you know. No, I'm not a walking encyclopedia, no.